Hey folks, and welcome to the stream. It's Thursday afternoon, and it's time to do some chores, which I'm not really looking forward to. So I figured I'd stream it and show you guys the real glamorous side of packing orders, because it's not great. We'll get to it in a few minutes. Wobbly Cobblestones, good afternoon. Storesness is here too, so is Oxy. Reed is not the first to come. No, Wobbly Cobblestones got that dubious honour today. But you're in meetings, Reed? Well, hopefully these'll help you. Eamon is the same. He probably won't be able to watch the whole stream. That's cool. Kelly Babes is here too, so is Jehovah in bed. And JQ says first, but he's actually like 10th. I'm not me. I'm not here. I'm working. Fair enough, Rue. Fair enough. Good afternoon, Jelly. I hope you're doing well in Chicago. I'm looking forward to Saturday. I need to finish off my slides and presentation for... I'm doing a talk at the Chicago meetup without being at the Chicago meetup, which is going to be good fun. Redhound, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I hope you're having a good afternoon. I will get disturbed a couple of times during the stream today because DHL and DPD need to collect orders, and also I have the laser cutter making something that is not keyboard related, it's not prototypist related, it's completely separate to that. So I just need to listen out for like people shouting me in the background. So if you hear something I don't because I've got my headphones on, please just let me know. 51 months Steamer Text. Thank you so much for lighting up that pink rocket ship. That's kind of crazy. 51 months is huge. So I've actually got a couple of things I wanted to do today. The first thing is keyboards and coffee is coming back, finally. So I'm going to kind of like write the post that I'm going to put up, like the blog post that's going to be on the PT website. And I figured I'd take you on my kind of creative journey as to how I do that. And then the second thing we're going to do, which is the really painful bit, is I need to pre-package a load of the 4-wraps stabilizers. So I have done like a couple of 100 packs, but I have more to do because I ran out of plastic baggies and I've just found another packet of them, so we're going to do those as well today. Let me just show you what that entails. So what I have is I have bags full of bits. And just to put this into context, there are 4 different things. There's another bag, which is this one, and then there's a box as well, which has wires in it. And what I need to do is take a baggie, take one item out of each of the 4 bags, and then put them into the baggie to make a customer order up. And I'm going to do this for all of the ones that we have in stock, effectively. But to make matters worse, the screws, for example, come on strips. So this is 2 sets that are together, but some of the sets are longer. So you can see some here are like 5 or 6 long. So I actually need to break these down first and tear them along the dotted lines, just like so, to create individual packs first. And I have to do that for those and also for the 2U wires. So that's my fun afternoon after we've written the blog post. That's what I'm going to have to do. So I will show you that process, and we'll have some little tubs set up here, and you will see me pack each packet of stabilizers, and then you'll wonder when it takes me like 3 minutes per packet why they're only 16 quid each or whatever they are. Meeting started. No worries, dude. This is just a very, very cheeky stream. Afternoon, Mr. Basic. I hope you're doing well. I miss you, Chris. I miss you. So I am in desperate need of caffeine whilst we do this. But speaking, this is the fiction blend from Jay's Roastery. I should do the whole. Here's a little bit of a shill, right? You can go buy keyboard stuff here at this website, Prototypist Keyboards. You can buy coffee stuff here at Jay's Roastery. Although Jay's Roastery is undergoing a massive back end rework for reasons I can't talk about just yet, but. Yeah, watch out for that, because that's all going to change very, very soon. Shill. Yeah, I should put a shill command in that then just puts like links to stuff that I want to sell. Go look at keyboard stuff. Go buy a Kafka, because it's stupidly cheap. And there's ISO PCBs that are compatible with it now. So, where is the Kafka? Not the Kafka, the Craze, sorry. The Craze 65 is what I meant. The Craze, look. It's £73 for just the case. If you add the hot swap PCB, it's £90. £90 for a case, bottom plate with the cool design on it, and a PCB. Look at that. Look at that. Wait. Look how cool it is. £90. It's ridiculous. It's such a bargain. PCB snap mounting, nice construction, internal weights, batteries are an option as well. Even if you go for the Venom one, it's 117 quid. If you go for what else? If you go for the Topper kits are going to be the most expensive. But if you go for the Topper kits, it's like 182 quid, but it's still really cheap. Go buy that. Go buy it. You've only got 19 days left. I don't understand why anyone is not buying one of these, because everyone who's into keyboards should pick one of these up just because they're so good. Mine has not left my desk since I built it, apart from to go to a meetup. That's how nice it is for the price. Anyway, okay, shilling done. Big shilling done. Very surprised by the price of the Craze. Yeah, like it's so cheap. Fancy UI to add stuff now. Wait, what? Fancy UI for what? On the website? The website's not changed for a while. Excited for the eventual HE PCBs? Yeah, the Hall Effects ones are a little bit ways out, the Monaco Keys ones, but you can get the Monaco Keys MX ones right now. We've got those in pre-order as well. They're pretty cheap. How do you say the Craze compares against Kafka? I think they're two very similar products, but aimed at different people. If you like aluminium and keyboards and that's your aesthetic with color, I think the Craze is for you. If you like that kind of wooden detail that the Kafka has, then that's where it's for you. So yeah. Topper kit looks expensive, but you get a lot. Yeah, like the Topper kit is expensive, but you're getting so much of it. And you can also just buy, like, if you didn't want to do that Topper kit, you could go buy Dynacap later on if you wanted, right? There's other options. I was expecting a separate page to add PCB. The only place to add a PCB is if you want the MX version of the PCB. Hold on, let me show you. So if you want the ISO version of the PCB, there's these two here. These are the new Monaco Keys ISO PCBs that are hot swap and wireless. So the hot swap one here is just £36, and the wireless one I think is £45. Yeah, £45. So those are the two PCBs, but they basically support ISO. So if you order the Craze and you just get the case and plate, you can then come buy one of these PCBs and it will all work, and we'll ship them all out roughly at the same time anyway. So yeah, might be something you want to do. Might be something you want to do. But we are going to be writing a blog post in a few minutes. Afternoon from my shed, Jay. Move has started, but at least I can watch the afternoon stream for once. Nice. Well, I hope the move goes well. Cynic 12. My move has not yet started, and it's a while off. The V6 is nutty. Yeah, the V6 is kind of like this crazy project. I talked about this on stream the other day, but this is the VS06. It is built to replicate the old Waytech keyboards, which I have one of here. So it's basically an aluminium version of this beast. So this is what you're trying to replicate, but the new aluminium version comes with a touchscreen. You can add on keycaps which will replicate these keycaps. It has the controls on the side, but it will be made of aluminium instead of plastic, and it's kind of like a bit of a beast. Is it expensive? Sure. Is it massive? Absolutely. So yeah, if you are interested in that, please agree. This is, even despite the price, this has been significantly more. This has sold significantly more than I expected. There's another 26 days left, and if we continue to sell as many as we have done, I think we'll get the whole of the 50 unit allocation just at PT, because yeah. It is nutty, yeah. Bartowski, I don't know if did the light up come up for you? I didn't see it. There you go. Pink rocket ship lit up just for you. 41 months of subs, Bartowski. There you go. I don't know why it didn't pop up, but I hope that's good. So yeah, so the VS06, I've personally bought one because I think it's an incredible, cool thing. You know, and it's just going to be really, really nice. So, you know, you look at the side profile, it's got these cool curves to replicate the product. Roshek says, have you talked about the VS06? I'm curious how confident you are about it. So, like any project, I'm relatively confident. It doesn't have an MOQ to hit, so it's going to be made. It's going to be made either way. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. So in terms of that, I'm not too worried. It is limited to 50 units. there is a risk that it doesn't get made, like any new group buy by any new designer, runner, whatever. That's what it is. But that's what we're here for. That doesn't, you know, we will find some way to refund you or whatever. You know, you're not going to lose out. If anyone gets impacted, it will be PT. You know, that's the risk we take as vendors. So, yeah. A sub-legend on Enter Return is interesting. Yeah, on the VSO6, you mean? It just says go. Hold on. There you go. Just says go, which is exactly what it says on the original. I apologize, this is incredibly dusty and I'm probably getting dust in my coffee. But yeah, it's got all of these kind of cool legends on. So the keycaps are designed to replicate it. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's a cool project either way. It has a proper screen? Yeah. You could probably get it to play Doom. I don't know if it will play Doom automatically, but you can probably get it to play Doom, yeah.
Tasty, tasty.
Zuko, thank you very much for lighting up the pink rocket ship with your subscription. I thoroughly appreciate you, dude. Fedifeo, hey man, good to see you. I really like the look of the raw Offenham at the minute. Yeah, a friend of mine, actually, Pexon's girlfriend, Salopian Cerakote, she messaged me, she's like, Jay, what's this picture? Because it's really cool. I was like, oh, it's this product. And she's like, I really like that. It's just quite fun. In legacy IT systems, there is a big difference between return, enter, and program go. This is very apparent when you look at older IBM systems and boards. Sometimes you had a return on the enter key placement, and enter was its own key on the right control. Yeah, enter, return, go, they're all very common in older sets as well, and vintage keyboards, as you mentioned, for that reason. So on your unit, fun, nice. Added flavor, absolutely. 18 months of subs, Bazooka. Thank you so much for that, dude. Thank you. Neodoid's here as well. Right, okay. So, let's get one of the jobs done today. So, what I want to do is, I want to put up a new post about keyboards and coffee. So, you might have seen on our website before, we have done, on my blog, we have done keyboards and coffee events on Saturday. And we've done keyboard and coffee events on just random days every Thursday, which was last year. We haven't done it for a few months, and that's just because we've had a lot of stuff going on in the background and I've been very busy with other things, but I'm about to have more time, so I figured we'd write a new post. So this is for keyboards and coffee for summer of 2026. I kind of have some bullet points about what I want to talk about, but I'm going to basically just write this off the cuff, and you guys can help me and tell me if you think I'm wording it badly. So for those not in the know, Keyboards and Coffee is basically where you can come to the workshop on a Thursday between 9:30 AM and 12 in the afternoon, and you can play with keyboards, and you can get a really nice cup of coffee, like this one. And the idea is that it's just to help people ease into the hobby. It's good for people who are already ingrained in this hobby to try new things. It's kind of like having a mini meetup all here, and usually we have like 50 to 70 boards out on display that people can type on and check around with and play with. So yeah, that's the plan. We're going to write that. I do need to take a very, very, very brief break right now. I will be back in probably about less than a minute, but I have got the laser cutter running, and I've got a timer set up in the bottom corner of my screen to go check the laser every 25 minutes, so I just need to go check it right now. But as soon as I'm back, we will be writing Keyboards and Coffee Summer 2026 blog post, and I want you guys to tell me if anything sounds stupid or weird, or if there's anything that I should be building into it, because I'm going to write it quite glib. A lot of my blog posts are written in my style, and then I try and do things like Keyboards and Coffee factually, but I'm going to try and write it in my style today, so we'll see how that goes. I'm back in 30 seconds or so. Okay, the laser's almost done. It'll be done in 20 minutes, so we'll be good. Right, okay, so keyboards and coffee, summer 2026. I'm just getting some bullet points up here. Let's, what's in a pink keyboard case to your left? Looks like pink on camera. It's not a keyboard case, Jehovah. It is, hold on. It is this. I have these pink trays. So this is true. When we started to get more than like 1 or 2 orders at a time to pack, we realized that what we should be doing, we should be picking orders, take them into the packing room, then packing orders, instead of just going and grabbing an item and then packing it, and then grabbing an item and packing it, right? So about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I went to the local supermarket, which is just over the road from PT, and I said to them, do you guys have any baskets that we can have, like anything that's slightly damaged or broken or anything like that? And if you've ever done like a click and collect to Asda or something like that, they have these big crates that are black and they have Asda printing on them. The manager at the time just said, oh yeah, take those 5, and we've used them for years. But they're a little bit big, they're a little bit bulky, and I've never been quite happy with them. They've been fine, and they were free, so that's a good thing. But over time, they've kind of got really dirty and mucky and whatever else. And I looked about 2 years ago getting some custom-made ones done in pink, because pink's my favourite colour. And they were about 180 quid each. Just each tray like this, £180 each, which is insane for a bit of plastic, but that's what they were. And then about a week ago, I was scrolling on Instagram and I found the same company was now selling off a load of these at wholesale, basically a wholesale price, as like an end of line type thing. And they come in like a square wheel that you can spin around, and they're actually really good for storage because they've got handles that you can like fold over so you can stack them so they don't concertina into each other. So you can stack them inside each other, or you can stack them so they're above each other. And I had this idea was, maybe for some of the stuff that we stock, because we don't take use of vertical height very well, like if you put a box of desk mats, there's still shelf space above. Maybe if we got a load of these, because they were a lot cheaper, we could stack them on shelves and put things in them and use them as storage as well, and then it's easy to move stuff around too, especially if PT is going to be moving in the near future, which I think is the case. And they were £240 for 20 plus a free wheelbase. So I was like, okay, no brainer. Let's just buy them, see if they're any good. And if they are, maybe I'll buy like, 200 of them and buy like 10 sets. So I bought one. It was £240, including VAT. So £200 excluding VAT, something like that. And they turned up during the week, and they're really, really good. They're excellent. They are a little bit smaller, a little bit easier to carry, not quite as deep, but they are lighter, they are robust, they are strong. They stack up really well. And I think they would be better for a lot of our products and shelves. So the plan is that I'm now going to reach out to that company and say, I know this is an end-of-life product. How many of these do you have? Can we come to a deal? So that's the plan. That's what that is. I have 20 of them right now, and they're really, really good. So I would happily buy more, and that's something that I will crack on with in the next couple of days. I'll drop them an email and say, I really like these. I want to get Mel's thoughts on them as well first. So Mel hasn't been in this week, but she's back in tomorrow. So I want to get Mel's thoughts as well, because like the tray that you can put them in, you can kind of like wheel things around, so it's easier to move stock as well. So if we had a particularly busy day, like after a sale, we could have like 25 of these all stacked up on one pallet, basically movable pallet. So we could pick all of the orders instead of picking like 10 at a time. So yeah, that's the kind of plan. That's the plan for them, and that's what it is. So we'll see. We shall see. Right, okay. Back to writing the blog post. So I have a series of bullet points about here, but it's basically this: the keyboards and coffee's coming back. This is what we're going to do. This is the timings. This is what we actually do on the day. This is who it's good for, right? Which is kind of something that's been missing from a lot of the previous ones. But I want you guys to keep me honest. If you think I'm typing something or entering something that's not quite right, or if you think I should be able to word it better, please tell me. And I'm going to be quite glib. This is just how I write. I prefer the ampersand there, I think. Let's bold that. I like that so far. Chat is now Chat JPT. I like that. Yes. Chat JQ UK. Yes. I do like that. Chat JPT. Okay, what dates did I set? 18th of June. What times did I say? AM. Something like that. Alan, hey man, good to see you. We're just writing up our new blog post about keyboards coffee coming back, and I figured I'd do it live, so I have the thing up here. I have some bullet points to go through to make sure I don't miss anything. The keyboard I'm typing on is the Chores 65 with the PP plate and the new Torero switches, which are going to be in stock very, very soon. Yes, what else did I want to say? Okay. This is where you see how terrible my typing actually is. For someone who runs a keyboard store, my typing is not the greatest. What else do I need to put on here? Okay, a little bit more. I've just put in here expand. So what do I need to expand on? What are you saying? These are light tactiles. Should be the name of a PT bot. Yeah, these are light tactiles. You do love an ellipse. I do. Do you know what? I used to like using M dashes, but I frankly can't use M dashes anymore because of how certain AIs use them. So I now have defaulted back through to ellipses. Maybe you're right. That doesn't need to be an ellipse. There we go. The sync of Jay's keyboard sounds to me while working is like hearing it in stereo. Nice, nice. That's the Chores. It's currently group buying, great value for the price. Would be worthwhile taking a look. Absolutely. Normally have headphones on for Sunday evening stream. Fair. Fellow M-dash user that isn't an AI shambles. Yeah, I used to use an M-dash all the time. It was a trick I learned back in college. It was like an M-dash will just elevate your writing and make people think it's better. And now it just looks like you've used AI. So, well, I'm trying to be a bit glib. I'm trying to be a bit glib. I want like this is more how I think than how I would generally write something like this. But feel free to let me know what you like and don't like about what I'm writing. Did I have any other talking points for this bit? I just put expand in my notes. Like I had some bullet points about dates and times, and then I just said expand. What color craze to go with to match DCS cream cheese and green? Dude, you had go to if you bought that set. That set is so underrated. Well done. I was going to think about red with it to match the red accent keys. I think red might be a bit too much. It'll feel very Christmassy. Like the red is very red, as you can see here in the background. The raw would look good. Should we have a look? Let's see if we can help you. So, we've got ruby red. The vintage, I'm not sure that'll work with the green. It works really well with beige. Black will work with the green. Black works with everything. The raw will look great as well. The raw looks good with anything. The purple, I think it's going to... I don't have a sample of the purple in real life. I think that could either work really, really well or not at all. So that would be a risk, but it could pay off massively. And I think the Cloud Dancer would absolutely work really, really well with it as well. So the cream in this will just go with DCS cream cheese and green. Nice. But I think if I was going to pick for that, I'd probably go with the raw one. Probably go with the raw. That's probably what I would do. I should probably put some actual information. Let's bold this. Let's just drop that down another row. Put in some bullets. Hi Jay, didn't see you live till now. That's alright, dude. It's just I'm writing a blog post and packing some stabilizers. That's pretty much it for today. Maybe see if there are any other beverages than coffee are available for those of who prefer something else. We always have water. We always have tea. So yes. Maybe like that. What else did I want to put? It's about coffee wrong. How about that? Does that fit? What else do I want to put? Starting to put bullet points as well. Let's get rid of those. Love me some T options. Not that I'll be able to make it, but still nice to see. Shouldn't noon be capitalized? Noon is capitalized. or should noon be capitalized, and workshop for that matter. I usually capitalize PT workshop because like I'm going to put a link in on that. So what I will do is I'll just highlight that as a hyperlink. So that's why that's capitalized. I'll just do that at the end. Pass on if noon should be capitalized. I don't know. Is it a proper noun? Don't know. I'm not sure on the rules on that. I mean, it'll be Yorkshire tea or whatever tea Mel has got. And we actually have matcha as well. And hot chocolate. That should not be capitalized. Why have I capitalized hot chocolate? I don't know. There we go. Pivot. Yeah, that's the one from last week when we had to change. I haven't updated that because this was just there. This was kind of like just an ad hoc stream. DCS Olivetti on order 2 and roll will work with that as well. That would look really good, yeah. Okay, right, that's the info done. Maybe... Just going to drop this down a little bit, just so that this sits nicely. I don't know why I make myself laugh, but I do. Are there benefits to ABS shining? Don't know. Let's talk about it, right? The idea is that it's to get people to talk about it. Hello, Jane chat. Hi, Piney. I hope you're doing well. Bring your own board if you like, or maybe a half-built board if you need help. Half-finished projects are my specialty. Just ask my wife. Maybe something like that. Did I have anything else on my bullet point list? Oh, I need to mention that something like that. Oh no, I can't use the M dash though. I can't use that. Can't use it. Someone will say I've used AI, despite the fact I've typed this live on stream. Someone will say I've used AI for it. I think that needs to be on its own line. there we go. Going to be building a fun board with DCS After School 92 tonight. Nice. Very excited to use long ass enter. Yeah, I was interested when I was packing those because I don't actually have a build that uses a long ass enter or even could use one. So please do share some pictures. Anyone counting the words per minute? When I'm thinking and typing like this, it's probably around 60 words per minute, something like that. Mr. J, do you know if you'll be getting a schema unit for stream? I'm not sure yet. I will ask Manu and see. I don't think so. No one's mentioned it to me. But yeah, we'll see. I need something glib. Press things. Press things is fun. Cool. I think that's good enough. What do we think? Does this feel right? Let's read it back through. Keyboards and Coffee is coming back because frankly, it should never have gone away. Starting from Thursday the 18th of June through to Thursday the 27th of September, I'll be opening up the PT workshop each and every Thursday morning from 9:30 a.m. through to 12 noon. This is essentially just a very good excuse to drink some excellent coffee and press far too many switches. No itinerary, nobody's going to ask you to fill out a worksheet or a questionnaire or do some weird icebreaker to get you involved. It's a safe environment to just get your clack on. We won't judge, promise. Just turn up, have a brew, coffee or tea if you must, press some switches if you like. We can poke at keyboards, drink good coffee and talk about how to lubricate stabilizers or the benefits of ABS shining over time, whatever you like. Information starts at 9:30 a.m, finishes at 12 noon. PT Workshop, West Yorkshire. Coffee, free. Dairy and non-dairy milk options available. Tea, matcha, hot chocolate too if you must. Keyboards, 30 to 50 out on display for you to try. Switches, samples and testers avail. Keycaps, all the major brands we sell will be available to try. Who? A small group of people who understand why any of this matters. Bring your own board if you like, or maybe a half-built board you need help with. Half-finished projects are my speciality. Just ask my wife. Or just turn up and see what all the fuss is about and why so many people have a shared love of those clacks and box. These mornings are for everyone, whether you're a seasoned keyboard veteran on your 9th build and need to decide on which lube makes your stabs sound the best, or if you have no idea what a gasket mount is but want to learn. Bring questions, an open mind and some biscuits. Biscuits make great bribes. Finally, there will be at least one Saturday morning Keyboards and Coffee, but the date on that is still TBC. I'll announce that when I can. Turn up, drink coffee, press things, talk rubbish. I'll be there with you. I think that works. Oh, that's from the previous stream, Ellen. I haven't turned that discount off. It's not live for this particular stream. Let me turn those off. It's just the discounts are only on the Sunday night streams. Let me make sure that's not on there. Oh no, it's logged me out. Hold on. Where's, oh gosh, it's all changed. The software I used to manage the chatbot has changed where everything is. Apologies, I forgot to turn the discount and build ones off. Okay. Okay, I've turned them off now. I hope that's okay. Sorry, Alan, I apologize. Infiltration, good to see you, dude. Thank you so much for being right, okay, so that is the blog post written. Let's save that. And then I will see if I can get a preview up for you guys. Okay. There we go. That looks good. Bullet points are showing nicely. Yeah. Let's publish that. Hold on, I can't show you that. There's some parts I can't show you. Okay. Right, let's make sure that is actually live on the website then. Right, I can show you this now. Okay, so what I will do is I will add it up here as well on the rotational banner as soon as I know it's live. I think I'm going to put it up here as well, like under Let's Connect, just like have like a keyboards and coffee thing, and maybe put it under the information. Maybe we put it under all three actually. Maybe we put it under Let's Connect and Socials, information, and the coffee. Just put like a little link that says keyboards and coffee. But oh, wrong blog. There we go. It's now live. I expect you to all go and leave a comment about how good the idea of having keyboards and coffee is. Thank you very much. Yeah. Like everyone who's in chat, I expect to see a comment off you. I don't. I'm joking, but yeah. There we go. That is job one done. Okay, so I'll be announcing that later on today on Discord. So when I put the Discord post up about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, keyboards and coffee will be mentioned there. I'm going to change the title because I want the ampersand here rather than an and. Let me go do that. I think keyboards ampersand coffee is a little bit better than the word and. If I change that to that. Let's save that. Is that going to update? There we go. Much nicer. Keyboards and coffee just feels like a thing, whereas when you use the word and, it feels less jointed, if that makes sense. Crazy Bean typing on sounds so good. It's the one you got to try at the meetup, Alan. So yeah. I'm also warming up to the raw colorway. It'd be great to have an info sheet on what is involved owning a raw keyboard. So, for raw keyboards, the best thing you can do is keep your hands clean. A raw aluminium, if it's not being clear anodized, which it hasn't because of the fact that it's raw, will start to get like white powdery bits on it over time, and it will take greases and oils off your hands quite well. As in like it will absorb them, so you just need to be careful. I think I've got a raw board I can show you that has got some typing time on it. So this is a raw W180, and you can see it's kind of covered in fingerprints and marks. A lot of those fingerprints probably wouldn't wipe off now because they're just like, so this is what it will do. You can see the brass is starting to patina. This board does not get much use, so it's not patinaed very heavily. But like over time, it will just pick up like fingerprints and marks and greases, which looks lovely if you like that kind of thing. But even if I got a soft cloth, do I have one to hand? Do I have a cloth? So even if I take this edge here where you can see, so you can kind of see those like rainbowish patterns in the light where the sunlight's hitting it through the window. That's kind of like the tarnish that aluminium builds up over time. But even if we like give this a really good kind of like rub down and polish. Yeah, the raw Craze does have a clear coat on it, but this one doesn't. So even if I kind of like polish, you can see that it's still picked up marks and that horizontal line of just where it's been in the machine. It's still lovely and shiny. You can see the sunlight shining off it. You can see reflections in it, even like you can see the streamlight reflecting in it. But it does pick up marks and patina. And even if you kind of like polish a certain area, you'll start to see what will polish out and what won't. And of course, it is softer than anodized aluminium as well. So for example, this board does have quite a deep scratch in it just there that you can see. But you can see how I've polished that little area. So yeah. This is the W180. I used to use this as my stream layout keyboard and had like big macro keys on it, but I've taken the keycaps off and it hasn't been used for a long time. It will be for sale. Okay, so that blog post is now live. I do expect you, as I say, to all go leave comments on the blog posts, because that helps with engagement, right? But I know I don't actually expect it to. Okay, sorry, I just got a whole raft of emails about random stuff. How interesting. Okay, well, anyway, was not expecting those. Anyway, right. Why sell the W1 best board? It just doesn't get any use. Like, I have hundreds and hundreds of keyboards. I'm moving house at some point in the near future, and the capital is more important to me right now than the keyboards, which is sad. I love my W1, but I hate using it so damn bouncy. It's nice that it's bouncy. Might be worth seeing what Pexalopian can do for clear Cerakotas. They do offer a coating for raw alloy specifically. They do, yes. Yes, that's also something you can do. Is this at the new location, or has the move not happened? The move has not happened. It's still at the current PT location. If the move does happen, which I think it will, it's going to be September time when it happens. So we might have to curtail some of those end of September keyboards, coffees, if that's when the move's happening. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Gone for a raw board along with stainless steel weights and the copper bottom and PEI plate. What are your thoughts on PEI plates? Plates do heavy training. Yeah, PEI plates are okay. If you like higher pitched noise and clack, they're really good for that. I'm not sold on using it as a keyboard case material. I think polycarb just sounds better as a case material. But yeah, they're pretty nice for a plate only. But yeah. Okay. Right, now the keyboards and coffee post is written, and I hope it's not too glib, but I hope it's just a little bit glib, and I hope it reads nicely. Oh no, why have I got a million messages? Oh my gosh. I feel like my every single product manager I have for different things. So I've had emails of UPS, a new company we're talking to about shipping called Move. I've had 2 voicemails. Come on, where are you? 61 emails since I started streaming. Fucking hell. Okay, that's another one. That the flash was another one coming through. Oh no, right, okay. My evening is gonna be. If I actually know, my evening is not shattered because I'm on a date night tonight. I'm going out with my wife tonight for a date. We're gonna go to the cinema. We're gonna see Disclosure Day. We're gonna have a Wagamamas because that's the only thing that's near the cinema. That's what I'm looking for. So yes, we're gonna have a nice date day. We're gonna see a film. We're gonna have nice food, Wagamamas or Five Guys maybe. I don't know. Probably Wagamamas. Watch the film, and then all of that's tomorrow's job. Although I'm only in for a half day tomorrow, so yeah. Speaking of plate materials, do you think you'll have any other materials and POM available for your plate cutting service again? You used to have more, right? We used to do polypropylene. The issue with polypropylene is that getting good quality thin sheets is really tough. The supply that we used to use is no longer available, or they no longer sell polypropylene. So I haven't found another good supplier of it yet. We can do thin acrylic as well, so if you wanted to do like 1.5mm acrylic plate, we can absolutely do that. That works really well as well. It's a lot more fragile than most plates are, but it works really well. Other than that, there isn't much we can do for plates on the lathe that we have. We can't cut metals on it because it's only for plastics and wood. If you wanted a balsa wood plate, we could do that, but I've tried it before. It's not great, and they're incredibly fragile, and they don't actually sound that good. So we are really limited because there's a lot of plastics that you can't laser cut. For example, you can't laser cut ABS; it has to be milled. You can't laser cut anything that gives off, like a lot of things give off chlorine gas when you laser cut them as well, which is something you have to watch out for. We can cut felts, we can cut foams. You just need to say what you want us to do, and we can pretty much do it. Polycarbonate, you cannot laser cut. No, that gives off chlorine gas as soon as you do it, and I don't have the licenses to be able to do that here because I'd need a whole HVAC system installed, and it's dangerous stuff, and I don't want someone having chlorine gas in their eyes and screaming at me. Or like you can't just vent it out into the atmosphere as well. You have to like collect it and then put it through certain filters before you vent out the waste gases, and it has to be done above a certain height. And like that's just starting to get to the point where we'd be doing far too much. So yeah, it's chlorine in pools. It's fine, send it. I have tried it on some personal stuff, and it doesn't cook cleanly. It kind of just melts and warps. And you wouldn't get something usable out of it anyway. And if you do like polycarbonate has some milk, you just do acrylic rather than polycarbonate. It's almost the same thing in that kind of situation. So some plastics catch fire from the laser, some plastics emit toxic fumes, and some plastics do both. Yeah, I mean technically, when you're cutting POM, you have to really watch it, because the problem with POM is if it burns, the flame is invisible and there is no smoke. So the only way you know it's on fire is if you can feel heat coming off of it. And I've had 2 POM fires in the laser in the past. Neither of them be good. Acrylic will burn, but it will look like a lighter, so you can see the flame. But POM is an invisible flame. You cannot see it. It's dangerous, and you can only really tell because you can feel heat, or the workpiece, the flat piece of material that we're cutting, starts to warp up and bubble up in places from the heat. It is terrifying when that happens, and you have to get in with the fire extinguisher. So yeah, it's dangerous. I'm not an engineer, waste disposal, government person. I'm just an idiot. Yeah, I mean, like, if I wanted to do it myself for my own personal projects off company hours, maybe I'd give it a try, but it doesn't work very well. Love your studio. That light is cool. Thanks. We have another light as well. We have a bright pink rocket ship. Yeah, it talks about that. I think there's what you're saying is that there's no point watching it. Yeah. Could you have the laser cut it in a vacuum? I mean, I don't know if it would cut in a vacuum. I pass. I'm not enough of a physicist to be able to tell you. I think it should still cut in a vacuum because it's just light at the end of the day. But one of the other things that you have which would interfere with this is where the laser comes out through the nozzle. If you imagine it, it's a little bit like hold on, let me show you this. So I'm going to show you this way. Let's assume that it's vertical, but I'm showing you horizontal. So the laser basically follows a series of path of mirrors, and then it hits the tool head and comes down the internal shaft of the tool head and then out into the workpiece, and then this moves around and it cuts the shapes out. Okay. One of the other things that you also have is to stop debris flying back up inside the nozzle where the laser cut comes out of, and to keep the workpiece nice and clean, you have airflow. So we have like an air tube that clips into this, which is then like a secondary part, which blows exactly where the laser is cutting. So this is like kind of like the air tube, and it's actively blowing cold air from a compressor across the workpiece, and that's why we have to clip the workpieces down and stuff. And that just keeps all the debris away. It helps keep parts cool as well, so it's not getting too hot. And as the laser cutter comes around, this is basically blowing onto that same spot. If you did it in a vacuum, you wouldn't have that. So any of the debris would just sit there on top of the workpiece, and then when you come over for a second pass where you're doing something different, it wouldn't be blowing the particles of dust out of the way, or even the gases. It would change the composition of what was there, and that would probably impact the work itself in more cases than not. So no, I don't think it would work. Debris? I don't know why you want me to say that. If there's no smoke without fire, then there's no fire without smoke. I'm pretty sure you can have smoke without fire. How do you like England's chance at the World Cup? I don't think we have much chance. But yeah, I'm not a football expert. Right, I'm just going to go and check on the laser again. I will be 30 seconds and I'll be back. And then we're going to pack some stabilizers, which is really, really fun, I promise you. I'll be back in 30 seconds, guys. Okay, the laser is all done. So someone asked about felt earlier on, and could you do a felt plate? You can do felt in between the plate and the PCB. This is some coasters I make here at the workshop out of felt. It's about 4.5 mil thick, and we can etch like logos into it as well. Comes out quite nice. That's all done with just the laser, and they work really, really well. Perfect. I think you'd be hard pushed to use it as a plate because it is very flexible. I mean, it's just soft and malleable, and you know, you can do whatever you want with it. You thought there was a typo? Oh, because it's Roast Story? Yeah, no. But the whole thing is going through a rebrand. You could do like as a substitute for foam. Like you could put this between the plate and the PCB. Absolutely. I don't think it would do anything particularly good for the sound. It wouldn't be like some of the foam sheets we use today. It's not particularly dense stuff. Isn't felt, and it's quite brittle over time as well. I'm not sure how it handle the lubricants and stuff. Wouldn't you have to glue it over a harder material anyway? No. This is literally how we make them. Like this is just straight off the laser cutter. Not today, but previously I usually cut like 30 of these at a time. It takes about an hour. But we etch all this in. This is all done by the laser. It's all laser etched. Basically burnt in. But you wouldn't have to glue over a harder material to laser cut it. Like that's, yeah, we just laser cut it just like that. Just literally put the whole sheet down and laser cut it. Like it's a sheet, but almost the size of the desk mat, and it'll cut like 20 or 30 out at a time. Why is that still posting? I turned that off. Right, okay, I turned it off again. Yeah, I turned back on. But it's turned off again. So yeah, so you wouldn't have to glue it over a harder material. Like you could just literally sandwich it in between the plate and the PCB. It's about the thickness of, if I show you up against the switch, you'll see it's about the thickness that it would need to be. So we did that for the JO2s. If you bought the JO2s, we put this in the bottom of the JO2s. And for the SPC ones, we even had like a little rocket logo on. I don't have any of those to hand, but it was basically in the inside tray of the JO2. You got something like this, the same material from the same batch as this, cut to the size of the internal acoustic cavity and etched with the JO2 logo. And if you got an SPC edition, the SPC logo as well. Yes, I'll be making new coasters, Jehovah. I'll probably make 1,000 of them, just for like promotional stuff when we rebrand the coffee. But the coffee rebrand is slowly happening. Like I'm working on it every, like probably maybe 5 hours a week in the background, just working on it and fleshing it out. And I'll explain more about that in the coming weeks as to why I'm rebranding the coffee stuff. But yes, there will be more of these. Do I think wool could work better? I mean, felt is just a type of wool. It's just a heavily compacted wool with some glue fibers in there to hold it together to keep the shape. So yeah, I mean, it does make a difference in the bottom of a case. I've never really used it as switch foam. If anyone wants to try it, you can make a file and I can cut it for you. It's not a problem. Yeah, the material is not particularly expensive. Most of the time is in the cost of running the laser. So yeah, but I will be making new coasters when the new rebranding happens. I'm trying to think if I've got anything else that I've laser cut. You can't see it, but there is felt on these that I cut, but I did glue that down. Yeah. Are your coffee beans single source? No, they're all blends. So if you go on the website, which is Jay's Roastery, we don't do any single origins at the minute. They're all blends, which is why it's named as that. But it does tell you on each one where we get them from. Each time we mention a specific place, so for example, Brazil, Costa Rica, and Indonesia, those are 3 separate farms, and we source one single bean from those 3 farms. So we have a really good working relationship with our suppliers, and then it's direct into the farms themselves. So there's not too much in terms of middlemen. Normally, when you're looking at the coffee process, there's like 8 people between the farm and the actual end roaster. For us, it's just one person in between, which is much more helpful. So we work with a single farm in Brazil, a single farm in Costa Rica, and a single farm in Indonesia, and then we merge these beans together to make our fiction blend. And if you go into all of these, there's kind of like the details behind that as well. The new product pages, when this will change, will have a little bit more detail on that, because we're building up some of the side where we're talking to the farmers, and we're going to have like some interviews with them, and we're going to have like pages dedicated to that as well. Our medium dark roast, which is the classic blend, which is this one here, that uses the same Brazil beans, but then it also has El Salvador beans as well, and India. So yeah, it's kind of like a mix. And then the sci-fi blend, this comes from so we tried to replicate the Blue Mountain blend. That was kind of like what we were doing, but again, just Brazil and El Salvador for this one. But yeah, I think there's 8 farms in total that we've worked with, and the only one that's a real difficult one is the decaffeinated blend. These beans are all from a separate farm in Brazil, and technically they're not a single origin, but they are all from the same farm, but they're not a single origin. But there's quite a lot of complexity in that, and I'd need to talk about how the whole coffee ecosystem works to be able to give you more of a context on to why that would be it. Do people put drinks down on the desk mat? I've stained one. Never again. I do as well. I just put it straight on the desk mat, but I have an unlimited supply of desk mats. I think person would find it helpful if there's a page called Getting Started with My Roastery. So the whole roastery thing, the whole branding is going to be changing. This was made as like an aside. So the whole Jay's Roastery thing started as an aside. We actually did coffee for the community a few years ago called Typist's Brew. I have some of this coffee framed up on the wall just around here. Let me see if I can pan the camera around and show you that. But from there, the fact that you can buy it is just an aside for us. The main market for us is actual coffee shops that buy this. So a lot of coffee shops stock our coffee as their house coffee in this area, and they call it whatever they want. They just white label it effectively, and it's only for the roastery that I have like a brand effectively. But it's never been like a main focus for us. But as things change and progress, that will change. Let me see if I can pan the camera around enough to show you the Typist's Brew on the wall. You may or may not be able to see this depending on what's in the way. There you go. Oh, there. That's the three coffees on the wall. Oops, this is really hard to control at such a zoomed in level. I can't pan any more around, but you can see there. Those are the 3 that we did: light, dark, and the standard Typist Brew with the Prototypist logo on. So yeah, so we have done, and it just happened by sheer chance. Like, I realized that there was people who would be interested in coffee and interested in keyboards, and there was kind of like a big overlap there. So it just kind of happened by sheer chance, and it was successful, and yeah, that led to us doing the coffee a little bit more in general, and then a few of the local coffee shops got really interested in the coffee, and we agreed to start roasting it on roasting more volume to be able to support them. And then a few people like, oh, Jay, can we still buy the coffee? And it was like, well, no. So I just span up Jay's Roastery to like enable people to buy the individual bags of it. So that'd be like yourselves. Yeah, the whole thing is going to undergo a rebranding, and I'll talk about the why for that in a few weeks' time. Yeah, because I'm not particularly. I think it's not aged particularly well. Like, it was great when we came out with it 5 years ago. It's probably not the best branding right now, and I think there's something better that we can do. A Falcon spotted. Yeah, the Millennium Falcon. I'm guessing due to the local places stocking your coffee and naming it what they want is part of the reason for the rebrand. No, not really. They've always done that. They've done that before we actually did the whole Jay's Roastery thing. But I will talk about the whys and wherefores, in the next couple of weeks. No, you're never driving me insane. No one could drive me insane. What are we up to? We're about to start to pack some stabilizers. So, oops, I did not mean to do that. I meant to do this and that. Right, so the second part of this stream, which is I can only stream for maybe another 45 minutes, but I will show you what we're doing. We're basically packing 4-app stabilizers, which is a real pain. And if I ask Mel to do it, she'd probably tell me where to go. How do you maintain a raw copper weight? I do like the natural patina look, but having said that, my raw manta has one massive fingerprint on it where it's someone at work picked it up and it's bothering me a tiny bit. How would I return the weight to its shiny goodness? You could polish it, or you could get some Brasso on it and try that. Or you could send it somewhere like Pexon, Salopian, and have it sandblasted and then clear coated. For me, the first thing I would try is get some Brasso and use it across the whole weight. See if you like that finish. It's going to change the finish. It's not going to be like it was from the factory. You may or may not like it. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. Well, so this is how the 4-app stabilizers arrive. And what I need to do is I need to pack them. So what I'm going to have is basically a conveyor belt of a production system here, which is how I do it in the workshop. And I'm going to have some tubs, and then I'm basically going to take one item out of each tub, and then that's going to give me one pack of stabilizers. But I need to fill the tubs up first. So I'm going to put the tubs here. They're going to be stacked up. And then I can just basically go 1, 1, 1, and then put it in the bag, and it'll be good to go. But before I do that, I actually need to do another step. So for the stabilizers, they come in pouches like this for the housings and bottom parts. Housings and inserts. So I can just dump these into one of these trays. That's nice. So now I have those, so I can just grab one of those at a time. But the next thing I need to do, which is the slightly more frustrating part, is all of the 2U wires come in these pockets, but they are connected together in strips. So now what I need to do is slowly separate all of these out and drop them into the next bin, like this. This is where this is where the stream's going to take some time, so please entertain me by asking questions. You will not drive me insane, I promise. I just need to start to take these all apart. And then once I've done these, I need to do the same for the screws. Here for 30 minutes. Mr. Reed, I've heard that's all you need. In fact, I've heard that's a long time, so I think that's good. Would Barkeeper's Friend work? I don't know if Barkeeper's Friend is still available in the UK. It didn't used to be for a while. It was for a long time, and then they stopped selling it here for regulatory reasons. So I don't know. I have never tried it on copper. I have tried it on things like marble work surface, and it works great. If there is an excess sealed material, a bit quicker to snip them with scissors than tear. Unfortunately, we can't. Due to the way that they are clipped, there is not much excess material. Like, the packaging goes right up to the seam on some of them. So here there's like 3 or 4 mil and 3 or 4 mil, but on some of them it's right up to the seam, and it's just the seam where it's being stamped that is holding in place. So unfortunately, no. It shouldn't take too long. I just need to make sure I'm not doing it and tearing any of the pockets open. This feels a little quicker. What's the superior spacebar length? I like a 7U spacebar. I know some people meme and like a 10U spacebar, and that's fine. But I like a 7U spacebar, or if I'm typing on a HHKB, I like a 6U spacebar. I'm not a huge fan of a 6.25U anymore. I'd only really build with it on a 65, and if I had to. Anything else is just going to get a 7U spacebar. 10U, I know like people like it for the memes, and I like it aesthetically, but in practice it's not that great. What products clean brass patina? Brasso is the main thing to clean brass patina, and if you don't want to use Brasso, you can always sandblast it to get it back to original standard. Still all over Amazon, it seems. What's all over Amazon, sorry? Barkeeper's Friend? Okay. I know it was banned at one point. I used to have a pub in the pub when I was in the pub trade. So this would have been around 2004-ish, and I'm pretty sure for a while it was banned because we used to use it there for all of the tiled surfaces and the stainless steel surfaces, I think. Yeah. Yeah, for breast patina, I mean, I just stick to Bresso. I have like a breast fountain pen that every now and again I get the Bresso on and clean it up with that. But you may not like how breast goes with Bresso. Some people do, some people don't. So give it a try, and if you like it, great. If you don't, well, those are options. But ultimately, the real answer is if you are not happy with the breast weight and you just want it to look like shiny breast, you can polish it, or you can sandblast it to whatever grit of sandblast you like the finish of, and then you can clear coat it. But polish and clear coat is a good option too. Does Bresso mess with the sandblasting finish? It's going to change the texture, yeah. So how Bresso works is it kind of like cleans breast in a really interesting way, and it's like a fibrous cloth that has the chemicals in it, and as you rub the cloth on it, it will it's a bit like a melamine sponge, really. You know, it kind of almost like removes like a microscopic layer, but it does leave like its own distinct pattern on it. So some people enjoy it, some people don't. Where is my breast pen? If I can... It should be on here. Where is it? This is my breast fountain pen, and as you can see, it kind of, camera please, it kind of has faded. I've drawn on it because I was doing some designs with someone a while back. As you can see, it's got patina and build up, and Bresso just kind of pulls all of that off. I was drawing on this because I was coming up with some ideas for my own pen range a while back, and trying to change it. So the Bresso will clean this permanent marker off like no problem at all, and it will change it up. In fact, do you want to see me use the Bresso? I can go grab some and show you. Give me 30 seconds, guys. I'll show you. Okay, so this is Bresso, and it's basically, it smells awful, but it's basically like a cloth that's wrapped up in a spiral. And what you're going to do is you're just going to basically tear some of it off, just like so. And then you're going to take your pen or your piece of brass, and you're just going to clean it up. You'll see the difference it makes here. Yes, I know what this looks like. Okay, so I have now done the shaft. I'm just going to dry that off so you can see. So that's kind of like the difference it's made. You can see this is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. So it just polishes it up. And you can see it goes really, really dark really quickly because it tarnishes. So if we just do that a bit more, and on the end, doesn't take much, doesn't take much. Dry off. This is where it gets really mucky as well. And then you'll see that it is now nice and super duper shiny. It's really hard to get the camera to focus on it now because it's super, super shiny. Obviously missed a little bit here, look. So you see that tiny bit of tarnish just there. We can just give that another go over. Well, you can see the difference in texture, right? If you look at how this looked before, so it's polishing it. It's micro abrasives. So you can see how shiny this is now. I don't want to try and touch it too much, but if I show you the actual look, that's what it looked like before. See the difference between the two? Hold on, let me show you a bit lower down, so I can show you in the streamlights. So this is all still brass. So this is the polished bit that I've just polished, which is now going to get my fingerprints over. But it was all looking like that before. You see how the texture's different? This looks kind of like almost matte, and now this is super shiny. And that's only taken me two or 3 minutes of polishing to do. And we can get these marks out as well with a bit more polish and stuff. So that's the kind of difference. So I'll show you again, so you can see it kind of live. So what I'm going to do is just put this on here and just twist this around, and you'll start to see that it starts to polish it. This piece of brasso might be at the end of its life, actually. I might need to get some more out. See, it starts to get patinaed, but like you can see it's already starting to pull that off. Get another tiny piece. Again, just pop that in there. Off. No, it goes smoother if anything, but you can see now just how much that's changed in just a couple of minutes. You can still see there's like there's much darker parts where I haven't polished it very quickly because I've only done it very, very quickly and very, very fast, but you can see it is much smoother now, and it's now much more fingerprint prone, and that mark that was here is now gone, I think. Oh, and it's still there, so we can get rid of that mark as well. This bit here just needs a little polish. And now that mark is, camera please focus, that mark is now gone. So yeah, so that's how Brasso works. And this will patina again over time. Like it's still golden. Like the streamlights are making it look silvery. It's not. It's still golden all the way through. And it is solid brass. But yeah, over like the next day or two of use, it will go back to how it was. Because brass patinas very, very quickly. Right, now I've done that and I've got really, really greasy hands. I'm gonna have to clean my hands, I think, before I finish these stabilizers off. But that's how quick Brasso actually works. You can see it's still golden, like in the light. But yeah, always useful to have a tub of Brasso around, especially if you like shiny things. It works on copper as well. It works on all sorts of substances, but yeah. And then just a nice microfiber cloth afterwards will get everything buffed up and looking really, really nice. But that's a really, really quick demonstration of what Brasso can do. If you go back and look at how this pen looked at the start, you will see a vast difference in terms of its finish now. So yeah. I mean, what the Brasso is doing is it's taking all the patina off the top surface. So, I mean, if you spent 20 minutes on this, it'd be pristine. It'd be incredibly neat and tidy, and you wouldn't see all these tiny little swirl marks and stuff like that you can still see in the pen. You'd still see dints and deep scratches, but it would polish out any surface marks, especially fingerprints and things. But there's no protection then for the brush. You stripped off any protection by doing that, so it will just tarnish naturally just in the air over time. It's not that it will do it more quickly, it's just that you've opened the brass up to the atmosphere again, so it is going to tarnish over time again and overuse. I'll show you this on Sunday, guys, and you can see then how much it has changed by that point. I've just realized I didn't do either of the tips very well either, so yeah. So yeah, it's not that it will re-patina more quickly, it's just that your experience might be that because you didn't see it from the factory. So yeah, but it's good fun to use it. Okay, trying to get all this brass off my fingers now. I'm supposed to be going on a date with my wife tonight. I'm hoping that I can get it off. Use gloves, guys, when you're using brasso. This isn't actually the brasso. This is the dirt that was on the pen, effectively, the pen. Right, there's a lot of brass. Yeah, let me go wash my hands really quickly now. I'll show you that, guys, and then we'll finish the stabilized stuff. Yeah, I'll just pop the pen in here, and I'll show you guys it on Sunday. I'll be back in 30 seconds when I wash my hands. Maybe a minute, maybe more. Okay, they'll do. They'll do. Right. Are you still working on guides for things like soldering? So it'd be interesting to see all these things on patina guide. Yeah, I am still working on all of the guides. They are slow because most of them are waiting for photos. I think I have around 30 guides written. But yeah, most of them I need to either create a short video for or create photos for, which takes the time. But we'll get there. We'll get there. It's just all things to do. Age aluminium case is really cool on the Pangea. Yeah, they are. The crazy thing is with like stabilizers, like you'll see that it's taking me all this time to strip these down, and then I have to do the same for the screw packs, and then I actually have to pack the stabilizers into like bundles, and we make like, I don't know, like gross, we make maybe £1 on each pack. It's insane the amount of work that goes in sometimes. GBB, hey buddy, it was good to see you tune in. I'm glad you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed the Vela keycaps that my wife gave you. Is the same thing you had to do with cherry clip-ins? Yeah, only with cherry clip-ins we actually had to put all the things in the bags as well, which is why we stopped doing them. I mean, that's 6 years ago now when we stopped doing that, I think. Like, I don't mind doing this work, but I would never want to pay someone to do this work because it's terrible work. Like, no one wants to do this kind of thing. I just feel like I was insulting someone by asking them to, like, paying them to do this kind of thing. No, I tried that with them the other day, Kevin, and when you fold them over and do 2 at a time, what tends to happen is that the tear tends to go into the bag and you end up with it open. So it's just much easier to do it one by one. I got brass on my desk mat now. Not helping. You know, unfortunately, when there's 2, the resistance seems to be that they want to tear into the actual package rather than necessarily just down the fold. Mr. Allen, thank you so much for 3 months of subs, buddy. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for lighting up that pink rocket ship. It's alright. It'll like, the good thing about this is that'll come out in the wash next time this gets washed. Although for those that did miss the large music town desk mats, they are coming back very, very soon. So watch out for that. We paid for the production of them about a month ago. Yeah, so I've already done this a couple hundred times for previously. Now I'm doing it. I don't know how many's left to do, to be honest, but there's a lot. I feel awful if we paid someone to do this, like just asking someone to do this, even if you pay them, it's a crap job to do. So I figured I'd do it for stream. So if you guys have got any questions, now's the time to ask them, because I'm trapped here for, well, I've got to finish at 4 o'clock, so I need to finish the stream about 20 minutes time. But yeah, keep me entertained, guys, by asking the questions while I do this mindless and repetitive task. And just know that if I do sell you a set of these stabilizers, I have touched every single packet, because these are the 4-wrap stabilizers there. I spent a few hours doing this the other day before we put them in stock. Bless me. That's the brass I getting on my nose. And now I have to do it for the remaining ones. Thank you for this. Thank you. How do these compare to the Knights or the Maze stabs? I think if you want an easy stabilizer that you don't need to tune, these are good. They're much easier to build than any of the other stabilizers as well, because the stem on the inside can go either way around, so there's no front or back. So normally when you have the stem going into the housing, I'll zoom in and show you. So normally when you have the stem and you're going into the housing, whoops, you usually have to make sure that one direction is facing the front of the stabilizer where the wire clips in, and the other side is facing the back. With these, it doesn't matter. You can put them in either way round and they work both ways. And that's because the hole is dead center in the middle of the part. So it doesn't matter which way around you turn them. They are identical, apart from the little groove that replicates the catch on top of the switch. So unless you want them to all match and have them all with that tiny little clip the right way around, you can see it's just there. There's like a little indentation here. Unless you have to have them all matching, it doesn't really make a difference. So yeah, they can go in either way around. So you can go in this way around with the clip at the back, or you can push that out and you can turn it round and you can have it with the clip at the front. And either way, it just works. And they're also very, very tight in the hole. So inside this hole here where the wire goes, there's very little room for maneuvering. And whilst I do tune the wires that go in here, I think a better way is actually to just tune this hole and put lubricant in the hole. But I tend to tune the wires anyway. But yeah, but they don't actually need tuning. You can just use them straight out of the packet. So yeah, so that's that. Zoom back out. Disassembled stabs are so much better than ones that are shipped together to build with. I can understand why, but for the vast majority of people, they don't want to assemble them, they just want something pre-assembled. Moving tune the hole. Yeah, exactly right. I have to be careful, because Twitch often mutes the VOD where I say words like lubricant. What watch would you recommend for someone starting in the hobby? Okay, dude, if you're getting into watches, the first thing you need to do is set yourself a budget. And then work out what type of watch you like. Do you want something that's mechanical? Do you want something that's quartz? Do you want something that's a dive watch? Do you want something that's a chronograph? Figure out what you like first of all, and figure out how much you've got to spend, and then that will vastly change your options in terms of what you should look to buy. One thing I'll say is steer clear of the reps and reproductions. They're never that great, and there's always tells, and you're just trying to kid yourself at that point. But there's some great watches for some great prices depending on what you want to spend. If you want a good introduction to a chronograph and you like Omega branding, look at the Swatch by Omega watches. I've got a load of them. They're super light, super fun, bright colours, great watches. If you want something a little bit more expensive, you can look at something like a Breitling, or maybe a full-on Omega Speedmaster, or something like a Seamaster, or maybe even a Rolex or a Tudor. Tudors are great watches actually to get into. So are Christopher Ward and other brands like that as well. So really depends on what you want to do. You've never had a pre-assembled stabilizer? Mace stabilizers come pre-assembled. I think I have some to hand. Yeah, Mace stabilizers come pre-assembled like that. That one's tuned, but they come pre-assembled. Okay, that's all of the 2U wires done. Now it's time to do the same job, but for the screws and washers. Yeah, lots of stabilizers done it. Some of the early night ones did it as well. There is at least one bag in here that's open because I've just found a screw. So I just need to be careful. Oh yeah, look, we're getting washers and screws everywhere here. I need to try and find the bag that's open. Hopefully it'll be really obvious. I think it might be this one. Nope. Yeah, it's not uncommon for stabilizers to come pre-assembled. I think different versions of different stabilizers have done it over the years. That was the leaking one next to another washer just come out. But as you can see, this is how much labour goes into just packing a set of stabs up. It's kind of insane. So if you buy 4 wraps from us, just know that I have I've gone through every single one and packed them individually. At least I haven't had to count out the screws and the washers though. That is done by machine. Do you know what? I haven't picked up a set of cherry lifters yet, no. I do keep thinking about it, but I'm very, very poor right now. I just had to pay for my car fixing yesterday, so cash is not my strong suit. If it's still in stock at the end of the month, I might be able to have a look at ordering it for myself then. No licking, just touching, something like that. Oh, I just got a load more screws there. There's one of these bags leaking. I do need to find the bag that's leaking because they are getting it kind of everywhere. No, no cherry love, sadly. Right, there is just... I don't know if these are just stuck to the packets or something. Yeah, so I've just found a load just in between packets there. I suspect that these are just loose and in there. Oh, no, that was definitely... Okay, so that's the leaky one. So that's the leaky one. It has a giant gaping hole in the side. So now we found that. Let's push all of these together. Put the rest of them. As annoying as it is, that's 10 quid down the drain, unless we've got enough to make a full pack of all the washers and things like that. Well, we'll see. I do have some small Ziploc bags, but we'll see. There might not be enough there for the whole pack. I'll have to have a look. I think there is actually. I think there will be. There's supposed to be a minimum number of screws and a minimum number of O-rings per one. So I'll just need to double check that there is exactly that number. There might be more, which is fine, but there has to be a minimum number of them per pack. So we shall see. And plus I don't want to sell someone something that's had my fingers actually touching the product. No one wants to buy that. This looks fun. Kevin, this is the life of a vendor. This is how glamorous the lifestyle of being a keyboard vendor actually is. And this isn't even packing the stabilizers. Like once I've done this, I then have to get an actual baggie and build up the packs of stabilizers themselves. I really want to be a vendor now. Yeah, I get it. I don't think anyone wants to be a keyboard vendor. Once you get into it, you realise that it's not that glamorous at all. It's a lot of long hours for very little money, and oftentimes a lot of negativity. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people who are very positive and very supportive, but for every person who's positive and supportive, there is someone who's negative, and sometimes it takes a lot of that positivity to outweigh the negativity. I think you need like 100 positive interactions for every negative interaction to feel valued as a vendor, sometimes like that. And those negative interactions sometimes come through thick and fast. Like, there's been quite a lot of negative interactions recently about something I have no control over, the Event Horizon project. I'm not particularly involved. I'm just going to be doing dispatch for Protozoa, but the levels of demands and emails and DMs that I get about it are just insane right now to manage. So hence why I'm trying to stream a little bit more, because this brings me joy. Like streaming and sharing knowledge and sharing information brings me joy. I could just imagine what Mel's reaction would be if I asked her to do this as a task. So if I said, right, Mel, you need to sort all of these out, she'd probably just tell me where to get off and refuse point blank to do it. I can't imagine she'd be happy about having to do this for even a second. I know nothing about PAL v Rugdush, so I can't comment on that at all. Positive and negative interactions is something I'm quite mindful of in everything. You're spot on, it's often one bad apple easily ruins your day. Yeah, I mean, and I get that sometimes people are frustrated or upset, but sometimes it's really difficult to deal with. I'd end up with a black eye read if I asked Mel to do something like this. I'm pretty sure she'd either give me a black eye or she'd walk out. Like, this is not something that Mel would do. And to be fair, I wouldn't want to pay someone to do a job like this. It would feel very demeaning to pay someone to do a job like this. So I tend to do all of this type of thing. I'd never ask someone to do something that I wouldn't be willing to do myself. I think that's the other way I try and be a manager, is to have people, is to make sure that no one's ever doing something that they know that I wouldn't do if I needed to. The good news is, since we found that bag, there's been no more loose screws and washers, which is good. PAL is a keyboard project that was done by Protozoa, which used to be a different keyboard company that we sort of absorbed from a stock perspective and from a fulfillment perspective a couple of years ago. But it's one of their last two outstanding projects, the other one being Event Horizon, which is another keyboard. But again, we're not really involved in the project as such, more so just to facilitate shipping and that kind of stuff. Right, okay, so now those are all sorted, it's time to actually pack up the stabilizers. So I have my nice big trusty pink tray. I'm going to pack them up, drop them in there, and then we'll have a series of products ready to go. These are probably a little bit large for the use case, but I don't have any others, and I don't want to go out and buy more when I already have something to do the job. So now the job is to open up each bag, take one of those, one of those, one of those, and one of those, and then we have a packet of 4 rack stabilizers. I get all the best jobs. Look at me, Mum. I'm using my degree. Dear. Something like that. I can only stream for another 5 minutes or so, so you're not going to get to see the rest of this process, unfortunately. Geography students? Oh, the humanities. That's a terrible, terrible joke. Please no one clip that, because that was a really, really terrible joke. So yeah, so, and some of these I will need to tune as well and actually assemble. Geography GCSE involves an excessive amount of colouring in. I mean, when you're doing like things like crop rotations and stuff like that, it's just it's a visual indicator. It's basically the same as drawing a graph, right? So it's like math in that respect. At least no one can say we don't have plenty of stock of these. That's the good news. Oh, they have been selling incredibly quick. They've actually sold faster than Night V4s did the first time we dropped those in stock, which was the fastest selling stabilizer we've ever had. So. I didn't do geography to GCSE, I did history instead, so I couldn't comment. But thank you for your service. Okay, another couple of minutes and I do have to end the stream, I'm afraid. So if you've got any final questions, now is the time to ask them, because I will be away shortly, because I need to leave the workshop about 4:15 to go and pick my wife up so we can go out for dinner and to watch a movie tonight, which I'm very excited for. And then tomorrow is a day of paying bills and going to the tattoo parlour in the afternoon. I'll do another 5 and then I think we're about 5% of the way through. Favoritist household chore? I really like tidying up after my wife's cooked dinner. Like I just have like 10 minutes in an evening where I do like, you know, fill up the dishwasher and empty the dishwasher and do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I tend to do. But I like decorating and I like doing DIY as well. I struggle to start doing it, but then once I do it, I genuinely really enjoy it. So there's all that kind of stuff as well. I enjoy doing. So depends on what you class as a household chore. I hate painting though. I do not like painting. I don't like mowing the lawn, and I don't like gardening in general. But I'll do pretty much anything else in the house. Getting a new tattoo. I'm having my current one extended, so I'm working on a leg sleeve. I have the top part of my thigh here done already, and it's going to start extending downwards. We're going to plan out what that's going to look like tomorrow and start going down towards my knee, and then hopefully by the end of the year the leg will be done. Reminded Jay of the tattoo reel he sent this morning. Did I send a tattoo reel this morning? I don't remember. I bought some switches, but no worries about the desk mat. Can you include a prototype as coach or something? Yeah, sorry about that. I should have turned it off. I won't be packing orders tomorrow. Mel will be, but I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do. No guarantees, but I will see. The discounts on stream are only for Sunday evenings. I sent you one about sitting still and getting a reward. Oh yeah, I do know which one you mean. Have you seen the tofu redo of E2? Has some nice new options including raw. Yes, I have seen it. I have spoken to Vivian at KBD Fans about it. I don't know if we'll be offering or not yet, because they were looking to go live on the 15th, which isn't maybe something we'll have time to get ready for. But we shall see. We shall see. How is the RFA text doing? It's doing okay as far as I know. I'm not sure what the worldwide numbers look like, but we've sold a few. Not huge numbers, but I didn't expect it to sell huge numbers. But it should get made. The more people that buy it, the more it'll get made, I guess. Yeah, I think there's some people who are interested in doing an ISO plate later on. The plate file will be released. So, yeah. Do you have any spare weights for the KBD Vans Tofu TKL? No, we don't have any spare parts for them, I'm afraid. You need to speak to KBD Vans for those. Sorry. I hope the RFA text does well though, because like, you know, it's basically a custom version of the Seneca that you can do what you want with, and at a much lower price point. So I hope it sells well. I think it's one of those that keeps slipping through the cracks though, so we'll see what we can do to promote it more. I do want to actively work on doing more promotion for group buys and things, because I think we very much rely on organic sales for group buys rather than doing true promotion. Like in 7 years we've done 20 mail blasts, and I think we should be doing significantly more than that. I know we do Discord pings, but that only gets, you know, maybe 5% of our actual customer base. So I do think we need to work more on mail blasts and stuff like that. You only became aware of PT doing the Neo 70 from a QK. Yeah, we do no advertising at all, which is probably not a good thing, and probably something we should actively work on. From them to you, in the last 2 years of history. Yeah, and now we hang out and go for birthday parties together. Would it be too expensive to get a plate and PCB for an MX or Alps? It would make more sense to buy two if that's possible and not too onerous. Probably not, no. I mean, it's very much designed to be a real force, you know, kind of aftermarket housing, and then offering Topra aftermarket parts that will fit is kind of like the next step of that. I think just making it then MX compatible as well is a whole nother set of stuff to hit MOQ. Like you know, it's a whole nother area to try and get it to hit MOQ then. Alps, even less so. Like, even when we do Alps base kits or keycap sets, no one actually buys them. Like, they sell so little. And I know a lot of people love Alps, but not the people who love Alps don't want to spend on a keyboard every month, you know? So it becomes really difficult. This is actually working my arms out. Oh, you meant you doing it? You should be able to do it. I mean, you might have to figure out the PCB that fit. The PT80 I think should fit in there. I haven't tested it. The plate itself, you probably struggle with doing. I mean, a one-off one might be quite expensive for a plate because it is like a bent steel construction. But I potentially going to do an ISO variation of the Topra option. So yeah, we shall see. Okay, and with that, it really is time for me to finish streaming for today, guys. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it was not a long stream, and I appreciate it's really boring me just watching me pack bags effectively. But I've done quite a lot. This is the progress. This is the progress. Look at all these packed stabilizers now. We're getting there. We are making good progress. Right. Okay. Thank you very much for watching, folks. I'm going to head off now and go and take my wife on a date, and I shall see you tomorrow when I'm back at the workshop. Keep an eye on Instagram, Discord, all those kind of places for the updates, and I'll see you again really, really, really soon. I hope you have a good rest of your day. See you later.